should pay you for being my campaign manager. You know, the one thing is, you know, talk about Glenn Beck. I'm on the radio 4 hours every day on 3 networks. I get all the calls. Every time I bring on a new state affiliate, New Mexico is just coming on this next week, and I already know what's going to happen. They'll come in with the same kind of stuff, and my other audience, after they've gone through this, they go, "Oh, give it to him, Ernie. Here it comes. Well, here it comes." Glenn Beck, I knew what was happening in the Tea Party with Glenn Beck. It's controlled opposition. They say, "Look at all these people. They believe what we tell you they believe." I knew that wasn't true. They diminish in number. I go to these. I've been going to tea parties ever since the August. They just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The people in support of Dr. Paul, the percentages keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They are angry. They're angry, the people that run these things, that there's so much influence from the libertarians. They're going to be taking it over philosophically. These discs that you see on here, this is how we approach them. We put Obama Deception with a double feature along with America, Freedom, and Fascism on that disc. There's also For Liberty, how the Ron Paul Revolution watered the withered tree of liberty. 2 discs in there. When we go to these senior citizens, it's primarily they're over 60, 70 years old on average. How do you get them? "Oh, Obama Deception, yeah, I'm going to watch that." And then they suck them in. They watch these. I start getting orders for hundreds of them later. I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. I know how to get these guys. You get them with an education. Polls don't, they're generated by what? The questions that are asked, where they're asked. You know, this is, I don't operate by what polls are given to me by Fox News. If we did that, we had their own polls. Dr. Paul's winning all the time, but what do they say? Glenn Beck comes in doing this. I knew what was going to happen. What did he do? The day before the Southern Republican Leadership Conference in New Orleans, what did Beck do? "I endorsed Mitt Romney for president in 2012. We haven't got to the 2010 election yet." I'm going, what do you think was going to happen? This is all a psyop by these guys. And I'm not falling for it. We're not going to fall for it. And the young is not going to fall for it. You get all of these, I go to these tea parties, and you'll have 1,000 people will be there. What's the average age? What's the average activity? How much are they actually working? Then I see the 50, 100 kids that are out there, or young people, or the libertarians, or Ron Paul supporters, and they're busting butt. They're the ones passing out the stuff. They're the ones doing the work. They're the ones sweating. They're the ones getting the sunburns. Who is going to be on the front line when it's time in 2012 we need support? Real support. The kind of support you've been seeing for the past few years. Do you think that was an accident? Where do you think that came from? It came from support and principle.
Well, first of all, I'm not quite sure why Ernie and I fight over Ron Paul, because Ron Paul, I believe, is a fan of mine, and I know I'm a fan of his. He's been on my radio show 4 times in the last year, and Ernie, we agree on everything. Ron and I have a love fest every time he's on my show. Ron Paul is beloved by conservatives at this point. It took him a long time, but he's made the connection. Conservatives like him, Christians like him. He's actually very Christian conservative on an awful lot of social issues. He's much more to the right than me on quite a few social issues, including abortion. So Ron Paul has made that connection with Christians. Second of all, I've named as my vice chair, running alongside me, Mark Rutherford, to appeal to the left-leaning side of the Libertarian Party. Most of you should know Mark Rutherford. He was the chairman of the LP of Indiana. He was on the LNC for many years, and Mark Rutherford is a real dedicated attorney who is a winner in libertarian circles. He's been appointed by the governor of Indiana to be the chairman of the Public Defender's Commission. He is going to help me day-to-day run the Libertarian Party. I guess in the few seconds I've left, all I would say is Mark and I are the adult candidates for the Libertarian Party. We will run the party as CEOs and make it relevant again. Thank you.
My 4 children from 7th to 12th grade all went to private Christian school. I've seen enough W bumper stickers to last me a while. This has been every election cycle. They knew that I was the Libertarian. I'm running for Congress and U.S. Senate against McCain. I'm doing all this. They knew where I was. As time went on, these people, you know, all the football team dads, all the volleyball wives, everybody, we knew each other. It's a small school. What happened is they all started coming this way. Why? Not because I soft-pedaled the message, not because I was inconsistent, not because I pandered to what they thought they wanted to hear. It's because I told them the truth, and life emphasized how right we are. It's not more complicated than that. They want the truth. And if they don't perceive you telling it, they will spit you out.
Mr. Hancock will be the first speaker for the next question. What support and training do you believe the National Libertarian Party should provide to train candidates running for office?
My prime directive is stay out of the way. There's a lot of too much, we're going to train you to think like the top does. This top-down collective thing doesn't work. You have individuals out there that are successful, that are freeing minds, that are having an impact in their area. Those are the examples. That's the training. That's the leadership. What's happened is that when these people are successful in Arizona, it's the early 90s, it's 92, 94, 96. The National Party is saying, run in nonpartisan races. You run in a race that doesn't have an R or D or L in it. Don't bring up the war on drugs. Don't bring up gun rights. That'll scare them off. Don't do that. Then you'll get in, you'll fix it from inside. In Arizona, we're going, really? We'll try something else. We started doing things like unrestricted concealed carry initiatives. Just this last week, Arizona finally, we're the third state. Alaska, Vermont, Arizona now has unrestricted concealed carry of your firearms. There was a reason for that. I was the one that filed the initiative in '94. They got them to even do the permit, and they complained the whole time until they got rid of it. It's a cultural thing. When we set a high standard and then promote the ones that advocate it and are successful at it, that's an example to everyone, and it comes from the ground up. This grassroots thing, everybody keeps wondering how that happens. It's because you fertilize it, you nurture it, you help it, you promote it. But if you have somebody that's being successful, if you have a congressional candidate that's out there that's being radical and he's getting, 20% by wearing a tie-dye with a tie and a funny hat, oh heck no, we don't talk about him. We don't promote the people that are successful. We don't promote the ones that get the most. We don't promote. Arizona gets the highest percentage for president, highest percentage for Congress, for U.S. Senate, for statewide races. Heck, my first race, when we were being all radical in '94, I got 8% for Secretary of State in a three-way race against the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate. These are the normals for us. There's a reason. It's because they trust us, whether they agree with us or not at first. They trust us to be sincere, that we really believe it, and then life just confirms it. As time goes on, you'll have a culture become more libertarian. They say, I remember a good friend of mine was state chair. He ran for president in '96 for the nomination for president against Brown. And they go, do you really think that you could be elected president of the United States as a libertarian? He goes, well, if I could be elected president as a libertarian, I wouldn't need to run. And he didn't understand what he meant. And he explains, he goes, if I could be elected as a libertarian, you would already have a libertarian culture, a libertarian society, and I'd want to go out and be free. I won't be left alone. I don't want to be a master of slaves. And I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be behind the lever of power. I want to eliminate the power. This is what we need to be looking for, is an understanding that we are free up here. And we don't need government to direct us. We don't need a national party to direct us either. Just set a standard and promote those that are successful.